All right, folks, welcome on back here this Thursday, May 29th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Great to have all of us back inside our live trading room. I got Kerry, Roberto, Mike, Lato, Ron, who actually just nailed it a moment ago on one of these trades we'll get to in just a bit. Great to have all of us, though, collectively here. I still see Gillis joining us. I see Charlene from up top earlier. I see Roger, Wendy, Charles, and then Glenn. You got Dave here joining us, Doug, Scott, Margaret, and all of us otherwise. So let's hop right into it. Market here, kind of pulling back a little bit. But we talked about this earlier today. The hope was to see the completion of a gap fill from yesterday's closing price. If you were with us earlier in the morning meeting, we were going over basically just saying how we ended up moving up overnight based off, the Trump news with the federal court. They're basically, restricting those tariffs from taking place. And now even we've learned that Trump's going to take that and appeal that, I guess, and see if he can get that reversed on top. But basically, we saw a bit of a gap fill where this here is the closing price from yesterday, and we ended up seeing more of a retracement down. Now, here's what scares me. We saw a big break right below this, a fast drop below it pretty fast. So I was expecting to see resistance begin to build here, then perhaps even a lower low later on. So, it's nice to see it broke back above it. Now it's holding it, right? We're seeing it hold it pretty well as support here going into 230. All looks good until that support level breaks again. So I really hope that we get a pretty good slingshot here up higher into the end of the day. Just looking at the daily chart here, if we end up losing this, I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to crack. We're probably going to fall to the next support level, probably right around 584. That's more back from the beginning of this calendar year. Now, if we lose that, then we're like got a little bit of a free fall. Got this big gap to fill going back to a week or two ago, going into that from that Friday into the Monday. Not every gap gets filled, right? This didn't get filled here from 530. I don't think we're going to drop that low. If you go back to COVID time years back, there were certain gaps that just never got filled. Most do. And at least for a little one from yesterday into this morning, our game plan was to see a gap fill, then at least to see what happens from that point. So hopefully this is the beginning of a good slingshot, right? I'll be rooting this on with us inside our live trading room. NVIDIA coming off earnings, just you could focus on something like that. If the markets do squeeze back up, then NVIDIA could be a good bounce to work with it. We'll go from top to bottom here in just a bit, like recap a few trades and then build up our watch list, go through a few more name brand stocks. Take a look at Tesla while we're at it right now. I mean, it's kind of flat on the day, dropping a little bit here. I know Elon went to basically finish up with his time at the Trump administration and Doge. He's just more focused on his companies now. So that seemingly was good news for Tesla, but even this just pulled back before. I feel like this might be news related. This is a big drop here at this point, right? At like 1:54 in the afternoon. We'll check it out in just a bit. But what we'll do is just go from top to bottom, and we'll really start with this here. Number 2 on the gainers list, but it's up 113%. This crazy thing here, SBET. So this is where one of our students, Ron, just killed it on this earlier. I know Chuck did pretty nicely. A few of us may have gotten in and out for a little bit. Just want to give Ron a big shout out here. He's one of our phase 2 students that joins us each and every month there. And he had 5 trades on this thing, like in and out, like up and down this thing went. Oh, I do see one loss there. I thought he went like a perfect shutout right there, all wins. No, he had one loss, like 4 wins, 1 loss, but obviously he killed it. Congratulations, Ron. Very nice. Heading into the afternoon, we got to put this back on our list. This is not at all-time highs, as you could tell. We had pretty good resistance right around 53-ish, 54-ish. It held underneath there earlier, blasted way over it, flipped into support pretty damn good. Now heading into the afternoon, again, just be careful of the spread. It's on like a 30 to 50 cent spread at this point. It's like basically, normally we just say this thing's untradeable. If it wasn't up so much, if it wasn't trending as good here, we wouldn't even think about this thing. So the chart is proving us here that, or showing to us, proving to us that, it wants to try and move up higher. I would even focus on $5 levels here as well. So like $60 up next, $65 after that, 70. Put a couple lines here for myself coming up. All right, cool. So that's the SBET trade. I mean, that's really our star of the day so far. We've done pretty well on a couple others, but Yeah, what we'll do is go from top to bottom here. I see the AI trade there. That did pretty nice. All right, what do we got here? This is a buyout. Actually, we should just move away from this thing. That's kind of done for. ZEO, just going back here. Let me see if I got my pre-market settings here. There we go. This has been a tease. This stock has been a giant tease today. I mean, it's easy to say just looking at how flat it's been. Popped up at 6:30 in the morning, flattened out afterwards. I mean, pulled back, then kind of went flat. But 305, $3.05. That was the key resistance level on this trade throughout the day. So there was a point or two where it could have made a clean breakout, see resistance flip into support here maybe, and just never really got the job done. Never really made that higher high. It held under 305 pretty well afterwards here on a few occasions, and now even just kind of making lower highs again, flat, just disgusting. So we're done with this trade right now. If it wants to pop for us one more time, then hopefully we'll catch it. But watching this here just kills other opportunities. So hopefully there's something moving a lot better, right? All right, the WETO, ALZN, that was a dud. Go into this trade pretty quickly. Just more or less after 9:30, we were calling out the resistance right around $8, 802, I think it was at the time. Just pretty well, held pretty nicely. Came back down. So if it's not going to break that resistance or at least flip that resistance into support, odds are it's game over. HKD, this was a great trade we had earlier. Myself and Bill and just coaching earlier caught this nice move up at the time, right off of 236, I think was the iceberg level. I got in at 240, nice push up. I left a lot of money on the table, but just to say though, it was a pretty good move at the time. IMNN, this thing's as choppy can be. It's trying to inch up a little bit, but that's more of a tease, right? It's like inching a little bit here, even like you can call this a pennant, the last 3 bars in a row. If you want me to put this on our list, it's tradable in the sense of spread. It doesn't have a 30-cent spread like the SBET. What is it? The IMNN. Hopefully there's better movers, though. Hopefully there's better movers. Not really my favorite there so far. Zoom out here. This is going up a little bit. TNGX, Tango Therapeutics, made a good move earlier. Normally, I wouldn't put a stock like this on our watch list now. I'll come back to this even at the end of this meeting, so not fully sold. AI, good pop in the morning. We had this on our watch list. Nice little push up early. Hat tip to Chris there in the chat. One of our longtime students, built higher lows throughout the morning. What time did it reverse? Oh, what do you know? 10:30 in the morning, right on the nose. Doesn't make it any easier than that, right? Talk about reversal time, the cyber clock, just like we teach in phase 1. Give me a sec here. So I had my volume criteria a little too big earlier. Now it's too light. Now I got to jack it back up to 2 million. All right, let's see here. Anything looking better? What do we have just before? Not this. ERAS, Araska common stock. Not a good swing chart. Definitely not a good long-term graph there. It's like inching up a little bit. If we're desperate, I guess we'll put this on our list. I want something a little bit more lively even. Give me a little bit more juice to it. Speaking of juice. What do we got today? The other day we had a bunch of stuff. You got apple, orange, pineapple, carrot, mango, passion fruit, and lime. That's what we got here. Shout out to Sprouts. Speaking of Sprouts, SFM, Sprouts. Very, very good long-term graph, this stock actually is. Not to go into my personal interests here, but Sprouts Farmers Market, right? SFM. So shop there. So, all right, what do we got else here? You got TSHA, not much going on there. Not much going on Givo. Talk was a nice little pop earlier, but lower high. That one died off pretty quick. APPS might have a little life to it. That one we're at least more familiar with. Had a good run with this stock back from February time. Popped up from like 3 up to 650, nearly 7. Again, nothing I'm really too impressed with at least throughout this gainer side. There might be some better shorts. There might be some good shorts to work with here heading into the afternoon. Who knows? The markets just dump off from here, then likely so. And we got NVIDIA maybe. We'll maybe put that back on our list coming off the earnings. JD, Chinese stock there. Doesn't really do as much in the afternoons. NVAX, this thing is like kind of slumpish. Not really much going on there. And actually, we're below 5%. We're really desperate at this point. Damn. All right, let's see. Yeah, there's not much else from this gainer side that looks up to par. So we'll hop over to the losers. Sip my drink here. Holding it for 5 minutes. Um, let's see. What do we got? No good shorts, no good dead cat bounces. A little spark to it. What is this? NTLA. It's definitely failing to break a higher high. This might look to pull back. This might even be a good short. Listen, if you want me to put this on our list, I can because it's tradable. It's easy to borrow too if you're on TradeStation and shorting. So I'll add it, but hopefully there's better. Let's go over to the market here. Yeah, we're getting a good bounce right now, at least on the SPY. Take a look one more time on like Bitcoin stuff right now. Bitcoin kind of slumpish here, kind of dropping off a little bit more. But if we got a stronger hold off the equities market, there could be a good chance for Bitcoin to rebound soon. I'm definitely expecting that this weekend. So, all right, I think that just about wraps it up here, folks. Not much else that I'm like seeing as a familiar name that looks great from the loser side. Here's our Sentinel One stock. It did dead cat bounce early today, but that's pretty much it. GameStop below 30. This might even be a good short now. It's down over 5%. Wiping out a lot of those gains after they announced their Bitcoin purchase. Probably dropping off with Bitcoin now at this stage too, since they're kind of more linked together. But you had good resistance here dating back to late January. Broke over it. Would want to see resistance flip into support. If it breaks below that, that could be a pretty good short opportunity. Again, I don't mind adding it to our list. Just are there trades I'd rather put on our watch list that I'd hope that would be moving better? Yeah. I mean, Uber is looking pretty decent, more expensive, but this is probably a better short opportunity if you're looking for a lower low. It does have some support built around here around 82. So that could be where it bounces over time. I'll add Uber. I kind of like there. All right. What else? What else? What else? Anything looking good here from the loser side here, folks? Here's some more familiar names. Obviously, going with or going with Uber is Lyft. Not down as much. Maybe it goes with it in sympathy. Weeble. I can go on to a 5 or 10 minute spiel. If you're joining me on X, if you're joining us right now on Twitter, on X, oof, there is someone on social media that has been hyping that stock up, much like they were with Celsius a long while back. And I was telling you how they're misleading their hundreds of thousands of followers. Yeah, I hope no one's still holding on to that disaster. Weeple. All right, I think that just about wraps it up here, folks. I'll go one more time through the gainers list here. Anything else looking good? Let me know. Ron, Kathleen, Michael, any of us here in chat, just here in the trading room. Chuck in and out. Made some good money on that S bet. Yeah, I don't really have as much else though, as far as any other trades, so that's fine. Look at my Benzinga scan. HOVR, not really doing much for me there. SGLY, these are like cheap stocks. I'd rather, let's see. This is going up a little bit. MRUS, but the order book pretty thin. Not bad direction though. BTM, this is inching up a little bit. This is inching up a little bit here. BTM, breaking higher highs here on the daily chart too. Interesting. All right, I was getting desperate there for a moment, but actually this looks kind of interesting. I'm going to put this towards the top of our watch list here, actually. BTM, I'll do it. I mean, probably one of our best trades that we got here so far. SBET's the craziest if you're looking to scalp and like get crazy on a stock that might get halted on the way up, on the way down, either way. Yeah, that's like the more interesting move, but BTM is pretty nice. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the NTLA, IMNN. All right, folks, we're going to finish up at least for right now. Again, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, at Cyber Trading U popping up right below me right there. I know Fausto just came back. He did a webinar, an introductory to trading webinar. Hey, we do that each and every week. If you're on social media, if you haven't joined us inside our live trading room, and if you're looking for a place to start, that is your place to start. We normally have a QR code. There we go. It's actually above me this time here, not on the corner right. Corner left. If you want to scan that QR code, register for our next free live event. But I just want to make mention, if you are a student here of CTU, if you are a bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond student, we got Margaret, Andrea, I got Kerry joining us, Ron, Chuck, all of our students. keep in mind that, once you go through the trading room, you're a trial member, you're testing our room out. You don't need to like take part in that. The classes are what you need to join. The phase one, phase two, phase three classes, get your coaching done on top. But otherwise, though, if you want to support the team, we always ask for you to take part in that and chat with Fausto as he does those presentations. But just wanted to make that known. I had a student just ask about that earlier, just so we're on the same page. And otherwise, folks, hey, we'll be back on the mic in just about 20 or so minutes, right at 3:05. Talk to you soon.